Hey there, I'm glad you're coming along today and listening to the latest instalment of the Old Spiritual Cockney. And what comes to my mind today is what's it all about? Where are we? And what is out there? What is up there? What is in here? What's all around us? And more importantly, how do we fit into the grand scheme of things? And how do we make the most of our lives? How do we shape our lives? Make our very own lives? That's what we're getting into today. Let's get into it. And stick around because we got some really good, valid tips for you that I'd like to share with you and see how that influences you. Start as always with the haiku. Don't worry for all you non-poets, this is very quick. It won't, and it's very relevant. This will all tie in as we will go through, and those who stick around will understand how. The expanse lies here, and we give you a fine thread to create your life. So there we are. That's where we're going to start with. And when we think about that, the expanse lies here. And I hear you saying, well, what is the expanse? And the expanse, as I see it, is pretty much darn everything. We are this tiny little speck of life, a little dot that's made up of you right here, right now on this planet, looking out to the sky outside, looking to the interior of your room, looking to all those people around you. I'm with you, I'm talking to you right now. So I just imagine myself talking to you, you looking at me thinking, what's this blooming blithering guy on about? Oh, let's go further. So the expanse is all around us. You look up in the night sky, and what do you see? It's mainly black, isn't it? It's mainly dark. And this expanse of matter goes out everywhere, as far as you can imagine. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm no blooming scientist who's going to regale you with wonders of black holes and quarks and pulsars and the like. I'm just adding my own humble take on things, and I think this is important that we all have our own kind of like truth, our own wisdom. And I'd like, as we go through this, if there's things that come up for you, and I'm talking about wisdom here, share those wisdom with us all. I mean, in my last video, someone shared some beautiful wisdom, and that's how we grow collectively. So share those wisdom. I want to hear from you. I want to hear those beautiful words that you have to share, and then we can go forward in our own understanding. But for me, the expanse is out there. We look up to that dark sky, and it is infinite. You know, the universe is immense. And you think to yourself, geez, it's like, where's little old me in all of this? What have I got to do with everything that's going on? Everything we do echoes throughout the universe. If you have a bad thought, that thought will ripple and it will have an effect. Might only be slight, but enough people have those bad thoughts. It can have, we say, a deleterious effect upon our whole well-being, which is why it's so important that we catch those thoughts. Because surely, I don't know about you, I'd like to get in the higher vibration. For example, let's start that ball rolling right now. I'd like you all in the comments to put something you're really grateful for. What am I really grateful for right now is you guys actually watching me and actually got this far still listening to me. That for me is a huge moment of gratitude. So I'm thankful for you guys who are still here, and ladies, of course, who are kind of like taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And in turn, we share that wisdom, don't we? So that's one thing we can, straight away, when I've done that, I've raised my vibration. Now, I could have come on here today and been like this. Right, I want to talk about the universe, and I'm going to go any further because you will start switching off. And you would have switched off immediately, thinking, my God, this guy's as interesting as flipping dried cow dung, basically. Some people may think that anyway, but that's fine. But this is what I'm talking about. It's the way we approach our lives as well, isn't it? We can step into that expanse. So look at the expanse and don't just think what you can see with these old mince pies here. Look what you can sense, what you can feel, and more importantly, what you can imagine. You know this imagination that's locked up here? So many of us don't use it. And we get told, don't we? Get real, don't use your imagination. It's a thing for daydreaming and whatnot. But it's in our dreams that we can create the most perfect visions. Why would we not want to wish to work with that energy? Instead of which we kind of like go down into this what I call the robot mentality, where we go through our lives like this, trudging along, sort of like yes sir, no sir, three bags full. And that is such an old way of existing. And we're going back in antiquity here because that was how we were supposed to be. You didn't dare look someone in the eye. My God, it's if you looked at some like Egyptian pharaoh, you'd be lashed. With the Romans, if you looked them in the eye, you'd be probably put in a pit somewhere. And it's then you go like into old antiquity, the old lords and ladies. You say yes, my lord, or you bow down, don't you? But you certainly don't look them in the eye. And there's still an element of that about today, which is a real shame because that is all about domination. Let's not go there. Let's get exploring. So when we think of our own planet, I mean, it's tiny in the grand scheme of things, but to us it's huge, isn't it? The planet is vast. I mean, we can't physically, literally walk outside from here in England and arrive in Australia. Or I can't literally walk out my door here and knock on your door or walk in your living room. Not that you want that, I'll hasten to add. Not physically. However, energetically, we can do that. I know that sounds a bit crazy. You're thinking, oh, what's he on about? And I'll prove to you, you've all done it. You've done it many, many times. You're not even thinking about it. Let's say, if I was to say to you, think of a really nice memory right now, and straight away, I'm hoping that most of you will take your awareness to maybe when you first met your partner, um, sort of like a really happy birthday from maybe your childhood or your adulthood. It could even be getting completely smashed on a razzle somewhere. But when I've done that, or when you've done that, more importantly, you've travelled. Your thoughts have travelled back to that time, and you've been in that reality and bringing it forward. It's like this huge method of recollection, of bringing that energy into this present moment. So we can all time travel and kind of like go to that space. All right, I know it's energetically. I know physically we haven't got there yet. Maybe one day we will. But at the moment, it has to be imagined. And that's where your imagination plays a part. Your imagination is the key to all of that. And now many will say, oh, Gary, that's just flipping, like, that's just restoring old memories, just like a computer would. But what I'm saying is you're being taken to that time. If I was to read about the Roman Empire, when I'm reading those words, if it's written well, I'm taken back there. I'm there. I'm living the scene. I'm sort of like looking at the big battles, the Colosseums, the fragrances of the streets of Rome or whatever. These are the skills that we can evoke. But we've got to wake them up. That's the problem. They've been switched down. They've been turned off. So let's just imagine that's just our planet. And let's go through our solar system, from the sun right out to Neptune and Uranus. If we wanted to, we could take ourselves there. You could energetically imagine yourself. And that's what I'm saying. Use your imagination. What would it be to look upon the surface of Mercury? Now, I know any of you will be saying, if you was to step onto Mercury, you'd be incinerated like that, and you'd be right. Or on the sun. But of course, we don't have those restrictions with our thoughts, with our mind, with our energy. We can traverse those great distances and explore the expanse. And we could take that far as you like. You could go right back to the Big Bang if you wanted to and tap into that massive upheaval. What I'm saying is that universe is there. We are part of that universe. We are part of it. We might only be minuscule, but it's all relative at the end of the day. And what I mean by that, yeah, we may consider ourselves tiny. Here's another thought. Anyone remember that old film, Inner Space? Oh, it was a great film. They'd done it twice. It was in the 60s and it was a remake as well, I think in the 80s. I loved that film. And it was where basically, the remake was hilarious. You got into this little spaceship. Well, it's not a spaceship, but it's a little ship. He was miniaturized, and then they had to go. If memory serves me right, they had to go into the body to sort out a problem. Can't recall what it was because I haven't seen this film in ages, but I know at the time I was cracking up. Now, imagine if you're some tiny microbe on the bottom of your foot and has to go on this huge journey to your crown. Now, this physical body of ourselves, to that little tiny body, it's the universe, isn't it? It's massive, it's immense, it's beyond measure. Um, and same if we could imagine visualizing ourselves traveling up our arteries, traveling all the way through our body, through our mind, it would be an epic quest. But this is the thing. We are huge in those terms. Imagine to that little flea that's, oh, hopefully you haven't got fleas around you, Michelle, yeah. But to the flea, we are enormous. We are this great, gigantic blooming organism that can barely comprehend. And this is the same with us. When we start looking out of those big, huge masses of energy, it is hard to comprehend that. But just know we are very much part of that beautiful energy and going into that space. Now, I won't lie to you, I have my little book page of tips because I'm a human being and I need my little pointers from time to time, especially when you get to my age. So that's why I carry this, and I'm open about it. I'm not going to pretend that I see and know everything. I will explain the next part. So, and I really, when I come to the tips, there's tip number 3. That's a good one. I really want you to listen to that when we get there. And here's the thing now. Now we got that great expanse, and I want us to imagine, like I said before, we give you a fine thread. So who's given us this thread? It's like, it's our creator, for want of a better line. And our creator, you can call it the universe, God, whatever sort of like you believe in. I'm not here to tell you what to believe in. But what I will say is you're given this thread of life. You can call it the DNA, call it what you will. When we arrive on this earth, we are coming in literally naked, vulnerable, completely empty. It's like, when you buy a brand new phone or a computer for the first time. It's there, it's ready for you to put on there what you will. Yes, there will be some things already hardwired in there. For us, obviously, it's breathing, eating, various other bodily functions that we need to exist. They are incorporate. They have to be there really. And sometimes, there are some of us who don't have those facilities within us, and that's where life really can be a challenge for that poor baby. But on the majority, I would say most of us come in with those core essentials already built into our system. Call it our boot up system, if you like, if you're into your computer terms, or if you've got your phone. So I think the phone's quite a nice analogy. When you get it, there it is. It's got your normal, regular apps, for want of a better word. But there's huge scope. You've got this huge gigabytes and terabytes or zilla bytes of energy. I don't know what you call how many blooming bytes are in this brain of ours, but it is flipping immense, isn't it? And when you come in, the baby comes in straight away. It's there to learn. It's there to go out, find things out for itself. Some things it's going to touch and it's going to, oh, I don't do that again. And as we go through, we start adding little things onto that phone, for want of a better word. We get the things we like. We experience the things we like. But we don't all like the same thing, do we? Some things that I like, for example, I quite like tea, a cup of tea. Yeah, Englishman, no surprise there. But I can't abide coffee. My God, you put coffee under my nose, it's like, oh. Now, others of us absolutely love coffee. They think, like, look at me like he's insane. What's the matter with him? There's probably some of you are right now saying, don't like coffee. Man's a madman. But that's just me. And this is how we find things out. There will be things that resonate with us and things that don't. And we go through and start to create our life. And this is important. This is what we forget. We can create our life every single day. Every day you get up in the morning, you got a choice, haven't you? You got a choice of thinking like, whoa, let's go do this. Let's have a blinding day. Or you can have a choice of thinking, oh, here we go again. Another day of flipping paradise, eh? Wonder what else is going to go wrong today. You can see the difference, and you can see the one who's probably going to have a better day than the other one. Can't always promise it because, life loves to throw a few surprises our way. But on the whole, if we can stay in that kind of positive, kind of like, I can do attitude, we can change things a lot. And that's important. We watch our thoughts a little bit and sort of like tell ourselves, yeah, I can do this. Or in fact, even better, I will do this. I will gonna smash it. Like this video today, I'm saying to her, I am gonna do this video. It's not a case of, oh, I'll do that later. No, and I'll turn up with lots of energy and hopefully a few words of wisdom for you all to share. And that's important. Whatever you do, you kind of like, we are the artists. Here's the brush. What are you going to do? And we can change that at any moment. Now, it's people will say, "Whoa, hold on a minute, Gary. No, 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 you're pushing things a bit far here." You could be telling me I'm in the most brilliant job. I'm earning all this dosh, and you're telling me if I wanted to, I could just stop it and do something else. I said, "Yeah, you could do." Of course, there's ramifications. We know that, but I'm saying to you, you have that choice, and this is how we can get ourselves out of a rut. And sometimes it almost happens subconsciously. Let's imagine you are in a job that you can't abide. You're in there working day after day. The money's not great, but you got to pay your bills and everything else. But in the meantime, your thoughts are going, "Oh, I don't like this. I hate this job. Why the hell am I here for?" It's like, I just want to escape. Picks up on it. You go in one day, go into work, you think, oh, here we go again. You get called into a meeting. Say, right, everyone, got some sad news for you all. Firm's going bust. I'm going to have to lay you off. Get your redundancy package. And everyone just goes quiet. And you think, oh my God, what am I going to do? But things have a funny way of working out because it's almost like the universe is giving you that shove. It's recognized. So you've recognized you don't want to be there. And if you stay there, your health and everything else, your health, emotions, and everything else is just going to suffer. And unless you want to suffer, we can get the universe to help push us out of those scenarios. And you've done it. And this is the thing, we do it ourselves. The universe just responded. So when we are in that space of kind of like a new start, it's then we got two ways of looking at it. Yeah, okay, it may be a little bit, blimey, this is a bit daunting, but you got the choice to say, hey, brilliant, chance of a new start. I can really go and find something now that I'll actually pays better, less hours, and something I enjoy doing. Or you can go the other way and say, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I'm really in the rubbish now. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to pay my bills. And worry, worry, worry. And when you go into that energy, unfortunately, we can end up keep spiraling downwards. And I'm sure, like most of us, we'd like to escape from that lower vibration. So any changes come, and this is how we approach life, don't we? We kind of like get in that energy of like, hey, life's an adventure. What new things can I make? So when we get up in the morning, as soon as the day breaks and you get up, you take a few breaths, think, what can you create today? What new things can you do? Do things a bit different. If you walk out the doorway and you always go right, for example, how about if you go left? If you're on the street, go a different way to work. Maybe you'll meet new people. Maybe you'll meet new possibilities, new friends, maybe even old relations you didn't even know was living around the corner from you. But you'll see things you haven't seen before. And that's what we ought to do. We ought to try and bring new experiences for ourselves, as well as the stuff that's hardwired into us. So, and the best way I want to do as well is embrace your creativity. We've all got a creative spark within us, whatever it may be. It could be carpentry, it could be metalwork, it could be drawing. I love writing myself. Writing's my thing. I love creating these videos. Maybe you can too. Maybe you already are. I'll tell you what, if you're a content sort of creator, you want to drop a link in my comments, be my guest. Tell people you're here. I'm happy to listen to you. I'll go and watch you. Um, but I know most of us are probably just here to watch the content. But there we go. It's like being creative. And I'm a firm believer if we can all create this beautiful orb of creative energy, we start building community, especially if we could all get ourselves in a higher vibration. And it's not easy because you are always going to get those old stick in the muds who say, like, oh no, it's all rubbish. And sometimes you'll get that in the comments, people say, oh, this is all flipping doom and gloom. Well, you're going to have doom and gloom, my friends. We don't want to be there. We want to try and big ourselves up. And I want to say as well, big shout out to those who have come through those challenging times and come through the other side. And they would have learned way, way much. Might have been heavy, heavy going, but those are the ones who got that knowledge, who speak with authority and can pass that wisdom on to others, so they don't maybe have to suffer quite as much as them. And this is the thing at times, when you are going through those ordeals, it can be hard to fathom. There will always be a reason, however obscure and however kind of like nebulous that may be, but it will be there. And from that, you will get that strength and that wisdom that we'd all love to hear from. And that is how we learn, don't we? So this is what I'm saying. Well, you are the creator of your life. And whilst there are societal and conditionings all around us, we can escape from that. We can definitely get in there, get down and dirty and think, I'm going to break away. I'm going to break free. And so now we come to the final part of our kind of like sort of like phrase, which is create your life. And so for me, I'm going to give you some tips now on kind of like what I believe are quite tenets that we can sort of like hold on to. And again, these are just 5 from me. If you're watching this, you have your own, please share them. And I'll tell you something else as well. If you type in the word in the comments, I'll send to you a lovely little e-booklet that I've come up. It's only it's about 1,500 words, but I call it a like little e-booklet. Send me like it's a little form you have to fill in. I'll send that off to you. You can then fill that in, and I will then share this little e-booklet with you. And there'll be more and more of that coming up. I mean to make a whole little range of those, but this one's a freebie on me. You can have that with my pleasure, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, you just have to follow the link, comment below that, and then I'll send you a little link that you can go and do what you need to do and share my thoughts with you, because that's what it's all about, sharing. Okay, but let's go to the tips right now. Watch those thoughts. These thoughts are our little inner saboteur. For example, let's imagine there's a new opportunity comes along, new job opportunity, and you'll be looking in, for me, it'd probably be Indeed, a website, and you're looking like, oh, this looks really good. Hours perfect. It's local, something I like doing, and the pay is brilliant. And you're all ready to go, but then that little voice says, oh, but it all could go wrong. I thought, oh, it will tell you, it said, you're in a job, you're getting paid, accept your lot, what's the matter with you? You ain't going to be able to do this anyway. There's going to be something. There's going to be some con in there. There's going to be something where you won't be happy, Gary. And you think like, oh yeah, you're probably right. That opportunity is there, and all the time you're procrastinating. And what happens? You leave it. And then a week later, it's gone. Opportunity gone. You know. So watch those thoughts. And also, when you do something, and this is like really getting into the old athletes, isn't it? And their winning mentality. If they're going to run a 10K race, they don't kind of turn up at the start line thinking, well, I might do all right. They're thinking, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to smash this. I'm going to do my best, my very, very best, and push myself to win this damn thing. And that is like a kind of like switch in our attitude a little bit. That when you kind of commit to do something, tell yourself you are going to do it. Don't think, and these are words to watch out. I might do it. I'll think about it. No, I don't know. Let's try and stop that. We will always have doubts, of course we will. Those things will come along. We have to process that. But really what we want to do is get into that state of mind, hey, we're going to do this, and animate yourself. Get yourself excited about doing it. Because when you get that excitement, it gives you that kind of like buzz anyway. And that's what we want to be. We want to be in that buzzy energy, not the zizzy. When I talk about zizzy, I'm talking about sleepy energy. Let's wake ourselves up. Another one, and I'm sure you've heard all this before, it is a bit of a cliche, but it's so relevant. Show gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, think of three things. Let me think of three things right now. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful that you're here listening to me right now. That for me is a huge sort of like kudos and a thumbs up to me and to you as well, for coming this far. I'm grateful for looking outside and seeing a nice sunny sky. Because of late it's been sort of like, been a bit cloudy and we've had rain. But I'm looking at it, it's nice bright, and I'm looking forward to going out there in a while. Thirdly, what's the final thing I'm grateful for? It is truly for me, it's having this, working with these beautiful energies, being able to work with energies like Reiki, for example. That for me is a beautiful bonus, and just kind of like being able to bring that into my life and share that with others is an amazing thing. If you've never experienced Reiki before, if you probably don't even know how it's spelled, for some of us, it's Reiki. Go look it up. Look it up. And for those who do know, you're in that crowd that know, that have experienced it. Thumbs up to you, because like respect. And maybe if you haven't learned it yet, go learn it, because it will change your life. It makes you see things so differently. Okay, the third thing. Now this is the big one. And you know what it is? And it is do what you want to do. It's patently obvious, isn't it? And do the things you want to do. Do the things that make you feel good. And this is where we can have a real inventory of ourselves. Look at what we're doing and sort of like thinking, I'm doing this. How does it make you feel? If you're doing this chore over and over and it makes you feel bad, and there's always a choice, you think like, well, how can I stop doing this? What can I do to get away from that scenario? Jobs are the obvious way. You're in a dead-end job. You want to change it, or go and get a new one, or put your energy out there to start looking for a new one at least, rather than be in that sort of like marching mode of kind of like just going through the motions, because you're not living your life to what's in your right alignment, shall we say. You want to align yourself to the things that you want to be doing and listening to that voice. And if you're not sure, I don't know what I want to do, hand on your heart, what do I want to do? And I know this is good because it tells me I want to be talking to you right now. So I'm doing what I like doing. So maybe yourself, just drop into your heart space. If you're finding yourself in those sort of doldrums, thinking, oh, I don't know, drop into that space and it'll give you, and it surprise you. It may well surprise you. Don't be surprised. You suddenly get this crazy idea, I don't know, of suddenly taking up embroidery or something like that. Why not? Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Don't be sort of like constrained by what other people think of what you should be doing. You do what you want to do. That for me is a win-win one. Number four, another winner. Keep learning. Keep learning. Keep this grey matter activated. And again, if you drop into this space, if you say like, what do I want to do? And it could be okay, I want to learn martial arts. So you have to find someone that teaches you martial arts. You're learning a new skill, for example. That's one way it can work. And there are, of course, like I've got a big old bookshelf over here. Start reading books or whatever it is that you want to do. But the main thing is you learn. Watch YouTube videos. Watch, informative documentaries. Anything you like. But all the time you're engaging in that. Do sort of like, learn a new language. This is the great thing with the positive side of mobile phones, because there is so much learning potential there. And go on there. I mean, I'm very badly, I'll do is put it this way, very badly making my way through the German course of Duolingo, but I am learning and I love it. I love doing that fact and just learning those new little kind of like words each and every day really makes a big difference. So find something you want to do, listen to that. It will maybe lead you on a path and have fun doing it. Enjoy the kind of like stuff that you're doing. Don't make it a chore. Don't ever think like, oh, I'll do this because I have to. And that's like being back at school, isn't it? When they force you to do like flipping PE or something, which I you couldn't stand. But you had to do it because you really didn't have much of a choice then, because you'd be sort of like shepherded in, wouldn't you, to do it. Um, but there again, there was a choice. I could have decided not to turn up in school. hop the wag, but I didn't. But there we are. These are things that you are in that zone of, where you can kind of like find the things you do want to learn. Me, what I loved learning was English creative writing. That's what I loved. So I put my energy into that. So find something, and it doesn't matter if you're watching this and you're 15 or you're 95, we still always learning right up to that very last breath. It's like a huge life lesson. And finally, this is a nice one. I like to finish on this. Keep smiling. Keep smiling. Keep that smile on your face, and as much as you can. Now, of course, I'm not going to give you that toxic positivity and say, when life's really rubbish, we go, yeah, as everything going, Gary, it's great. You know, when you know those sort of like challenges come along, and that does knock our shine. But in general, where you can, as much as you can, keep your energy high. Just smiling is hugely beneficial for our own selves. Make it a real smile. You know, don't just go, that's not going to work. But feel it in there. Let your heart smile, let your face smile, and you light up, and it becomes an infectious energy, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, there will be those around you that will kind of like knock you down a little bit and always try and dull your show. What you so happy about, for example, and you just ride above that. But where possible in life, keeps one. And when those challenges do come up, what I will say to you is try to find the highest vibration that you can, as much as you can, and reach out. You know, reach out for those, because your energy may be low, other people's energy may be high. They may just be able to help you get through those challenging times. That's important, I feel. Anyway, that is everything for one day. I've waffled on probably more than enough, and for those who've kept to the end, huge salute to you. And I'd like you to put in the comments if you're still here, because you will be in the select few. Just put red phone. Red phone will have the others all thinking, what's they on about? You would only know that if you stay to the end, and I'll know that you stay to the end. I'll brace myself for this slew of comments that are going to come my way. Much love to you all. Take care. Until next I speak. Keep safe.